Did one of you forget to give Bitcoin its bipolar medication as Bitcoin can't decide what to do? 95,000, 87,000. We know exactly why prices are currently bleeding. We're going to break it down and what are some key support levels that we expect to hold for BTC as it starts to trend back up again. We have the biggest week ever happening as Friday, the first ever White House Crypto Summit. What other bullish news and catalysts are we going to get at that meeting? We also are going to talk, of course, we're going to look at the charts. And what other superpower is having meetings behind closed doors on whether they should adopt a Bitcoin reserve, kind of like the USA is doing? What could that do for the rest of the economies in the world? There's a lot to talk about today. With that being said, let's get started.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content, where we take old, boring, stale information and repackage that whole thing up in a fun and sexy way. If you are new here, well,
welcome to Six Flags Magic Mountain.
That's right. So, we do everything here in Vegas fashion. Big, flashy. Well, well put together production.
We have some roller coasters too.
New
York.
You can
Stratosphere.
You can gamble, watch a show, eat at a 5-star, 5-diamond restaurant, and then also go ride a roller coaster, all within a 2-hour time window.
Wow, that's right. All right, let's jump in
and watch a cryptocurrency YouTube channel. That's right.
Well, what is going on in the markets? You might be wondering. Were we just at $92,000? Yes, we were, but no longer are we there.
Bitcoin come back. You can put it on Trump. Sorry. My bad.
Thank you. That's what I was waiting for. It's about damn time, Rocco. God damn. All right, 87,443. If you're wondering, what is happening? Did we not get bullish news? We did. But today we got some bearish news. So that's the way the markets work, as it swings back and forth really violently. It's really exciting. So here's what we saw with BTC. We had this this is on the hourly. We had this really nice potential bull flag pattern setup that was breaking to the upside. We stalled out at around 93.8, and now we're seeing a bunch of mini bear flags forming on the 1 hour, which are breaking to the downside. You're seeing large liquidation candles. I think the number I saw, and let me go ahead and pull this up here, was around $120 million in liquidations over the last 1 hour, now up to $157 million in liquidations, with obviously a majority of those being your longs. So you might be wondering, what is happening? Why? Well, let's talk about it. You have this piece of news here that came out. Trump announces new tariffs on foreign goods to the great farmers. This is his post on Truth Social. To the great farmers of the United States, get ready to start making a lot of agricultural product to be sold inside of the United States. Tariffs will go on external products on April 2nd. Have fun. What the fuck do you mean have fun, dude? We're not having fun. This is not fun. The stock market is down 300 points. That's not fun. I don't know. What are your thoughts here? Are you having fun?
I mean, why not? Right.
Wow,
here's the thing. No, honestly, though, when you take a look, when you look at where we're at on the 1 week here, you know what? If you're surprised that are you surprised Bitcoin has volatility in a bull market? This is what normally happens, right? If you look on the 1 week, we were at 94,000 a week ago. We were at 94,000 a day ago. We were at 86,000 where we're at 2 days ago for a couple days. And so, you know what? This is what you get in Bitcoin. I mean, if you want no volatility and no big price swings, then just go buy the S&P 500 or go buy gold, right? So we are here to make money. And if you're new to the game, this is what typically happens with Bitcoin, particularly during a bull market. If you want sideways consolidation for long periods of time without any giant swings, then go hang out in the bear market. I encourage you to go buy after Bitcoin dumps and it's at 3,000 to 4,000, and then you can You can go throw your hands up in the air and say, Bitcoin went from 3,400 to 3,800. Oh my God. And then it pulled back to 3,400. You get what I'm trying to say here. It's that, you know what? These price swings are just short little blips in the market. Overall, we're in a bull market. Overall, bullish narrative here. Let's not forget what happened yesterday. And so yesterday we had the sitting president say that we got a crypto strategic reserve that we're going to launch. He said that he's got executive orders putting this in place. He's got the right people in place in Congress and in the executive branch and leading different departments to facilitate this, right? He's not only saying that he's going to do this, he's also putting his money where his mouth is. His World Liberty Finance is routinely buying more and more crypto, particularly Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you know what? It's a great time to be in crypto, right? You're post-halving bull market. We had $100,000 Bitcoin not too long ago. And just over a month ago, we broke all-time highs. We rallied yesterday. And so I remind you not to get dissuaded by a small price swing, because you know what? If Rocco told me, he was like, hey, if you had went on vacation for a week and had no signal and came back, the price is still the same as Bitcoin.
Exactly the same, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Like, let's just say you went out to the woods and you went camping and you came back. You went out to the woods, Bitcoin was at 90,000. You come back and Bitcoin's at 90,000. Like, and a lot has happened since then. And so let's just try to figure out how to make money. That's what we're doing. So let people focus on the price of Bitcoin. Let the people that are inexperienced and don't know how to make money overreact to a price swing. And let's put ourselves in a position to make some massive gains in altcoins. Right now, that's where the money's at. We saw a massive opportunity to make money on Cardano. I know here in the last couple of weeks, we've been saying, hey, what is the most undervalued project right now at the pullback? What was my answer? I said, number one was Cardano. At 60 cents, Cardano was an absolute steal. Did I know that there was going to be some narrative of Trump coming out and say it was going to be a part of strategic reserve? No. But I know that there is enough partnerships under Cardano's belt. There's enough buzz. There's enough community that it only takes a one headline or one big announcement for the price to move. And we saw that. It has all the liquidity. It has the fundamentals. It has the development team. And so finding these projects that have the potential to pump in a bull market and getting exposure to them when it's on massive discount is a no-brainer. And then all you got to do is sit back and wait for the narrative. And that's all it is. And so I can go down the list. I can give you all the narrative ones that are undervalued. I'm a big fan of Avalanche. I've seen a couple of people talking about Avalanche here in the chat. You know what? Avalanche, undervalued at the moment. You know what? Will it drop a little further? Will it pump a little bit higher? I don't know. I don't know in the short term. But I know that we're in a bull market, and as soon as the narrative hits, it's going to explode. Same thing for XRP. Same thing for Stellar, which we do got a Stellar video coming out here a little bit later. But we're identifying the projects that are undervalued, that are a great entry position, and it's time to get in on those. It's time to make some damn money. I'm excited, bro. I've been crushing the game lately.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What have you been doing?
You know, just crushing stuff, particularly beer cans.
Did you see that SNL skit with Shane Gillis? He's so funny, bro.
You talking about the one where they did a
couple of beers?
Oh no. SNL had another skit where they made fun of the Zelensky and Trump meeting.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Maybe it was the same show. I saw the Shane Gillis one. That was funny.
That one was good. So it was Trump was just like, you don't have the cards. And then they had Zelensky over there.
I wish we could show it, but we can't because it'll get copywritten.
Yeah, he was all like, you don't have the cards. You don't have a reverse. You don't have a skip. You don't have a draw two. He's just like, it's good.
All right, let's take a look at some macro, and then we'll get into the strategic reserve. You know, this week is going to be, in my opinion, the biggest week in crypto for at least the last year and a half, 2 years, okay? You can argue that the presidential election was one. Who knows what we would have seen? I definitely don't think we would have seen as much proactive and pro-crypto people and narratives coming out of the White House if it was the other candidate that won. So that was obviously a big turning point. But the other one is going to be this Friday, the first ever White House Crypto Summit. And we got one announcement before, which means that wasn't even the biggest announcement that they were looking to make. They keep teasing it. What are we going to see? Are we going to see them expand on the other valuable cryptos that they kind of put out in the initial press release, so to say? Are they going to talk about ending capital gains tax? Are they going to talk about legislation? So it's going to be a pretty big week. There's going to be a lot of speculation leading up to it. So I expect this week to see a lot of volatility. Add on top of what we're seeing in macro, starting here. This is from the Kobeissi letter. The Atlanta Fed just revised their 2025 Q1 GDP growth estimate. So they initially revised it to minus 1.5%. And then today they revised it down again to 2.8%. The estimate has now dropped from positive 3.9 to negative 2.8% in 4 weeks. A lot of people are saying this is signs of a recession. You also have this as well. The NASDAQ and the stock market is currently down, with NASDAQ down 1.15%. Dow Jones was down well over 450 points. It has now crawled back a little bit at 321. And then you had this as well that kind of, I guess, shook the markets, but I don't know why. Oil prices crashed to a new 3-month low as OPEC Plus agrees to proceed with a production increase in April. Now, if we would have seen oil prices tank, I think what people are doing is this. They're putting these two together. They're saying, okay, negative GDP growth, recession signal. Oil prices crashing, recession signal. But let me tell you something. If oil prices crashed and we didn't have this news that OPEC was going to increase production, then I would, maybe sit there and say, okay, maybe let's look at some other factors. Let's look at some other numbers as far as recession. But we know exactly why it's going down is because they're producing more. And so more supply equal demand equals cheaper prices. And so that's not something I'm worried about at all. And again, we're about a month and a half into the Trump presidency. All the tariffs, the shakeup in the markets, I think investors are scared. And so that's where we're at. What do you think?
Well, one thing I don't believe is that we're in a recessionary environment. Now, anything can happen. You could get some new, bird swine, raccoon virus flu thing. Bird swine, raccoon virus flu. Anyways,
bird swine?
Is a new one.
I just say that anything can happen, right? And so we could find ourselves where the markets crash because of some global event. We know that there is a lot of geopolitical mess going on out there in the streets. But with that said, I think if you get kind of just the normal narrative where we're going, Trump does introduce tariffs. We've seen the U.S. Put tariffs down last time Trump was in office. We saw a short-term freak out in the markets, but overall it didn't really affect the U.S. Economic situation. If anything, you can look at the tariffs, and about 6 months later, we saw that the markets did very well, and that the S&P 500 and the U.S. economy bode well after that. And so I feel like the same thing is probably going to happen here. I think people are overreacting to the tariffs. I think that even though tariffs are going to go in place, I think there's going to be lots of exceptions there. That is, when we identify pain points in the economy, I think that there will be exceptions, right? I think that if the United States, as an example, is very dependent on oil imports and steel imports, and perhaps there's exceptions for those and technology exemptions. And so I wouldn't be surprised that we look in hindsight and say, man, people were overplaying the tariff situation. Right now, kind of spooky, I guess. People are kind of freaking out, but I don't think that it's going to be that big of an impact to where the markets are selling off in the way that they are. And I think people are overreacting. The markets love to overreact off of headline news. Right?
Well, here's the thing, okay? So if you guys remember, 2018 was January 2018 was a Trump tariffs, okay? The S&P at that time, now I was looking at Bitcoin, but obviously the start of 2018 was the beginning of the Bitcoin bear market. So I don't think it's a fair comparison. it's a lot harder to discern whether that was just bear market price action or if that actually, I mean, I know some of it had an effect, but this one where the stock market was just up and to the right from the 16th of February, okay, or February in 2016. And then you see the couple of blips here. One, this was the week of January 28th where the tariffs were announced, right? When he was his first presidency, and the S&P dropped 12%. And then you had a similar scenario back in November, right? The great Christmas Eve crash leading into it. You saw the S&P drop 15%. And then guess what happened? Everything recovered and the S&P went on. And then of course, we had COVID. But either way, if you zoom out on the higher time frame, it's been nothing but really up and to the right. Obviously, you have some pullbacks and blips here, okay? The other thing to remember is, what does the Fed like to do when the economy is slowing down? If the economy truly is slowing down by 2.8% in Q1, where have you heard this one before? We need to spur up the economy. We need to get the consumers going. And so is this going to be a catalyst for the Fed to reduce rates at the next meeting, which is on March 18th, so about 15 days from now? And so, I don't know, that's kind of the lens I'm looking at this is, if we do get a little bit of short-term pain from people speculating on the GDP going down, people speculating on the oil prices, it's only going to give the Fed and Donald Trump ammunition to say we need to reduce interest rates, stop quantitative tightening, maybe start adding more stuff into the Fed's balance sheet, which I'm not saying is an economically sound choice, but we know governments overreact at the smallest sign of contraction in the economy, in the market, especially someone like Donald Trump, who probably has like 10 apps on his phone that track stock prices in the stock market. So that's kind of where I'm at with the macro side of things. Now, we did, yesterday, we did a special live show. Got a pretty big turnout yesterday. And it's because the strategic reserve was announced on a Sunday. A little bit more of a breakdown as we've got more information. There's been tons of dialogue. Majority of it is crappy dialogue. It's simply Bitcoin maxis or XRP maxis or Cardano maxis. Everyone pointing the finger and saying, well, it's mostly the Bitcoin maxis. Why is this garbage in here? It should only be Bitcoin, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, this is from Blockchain Baller. White House just announced its first ever crypto summit on March 7th. So that's this Friday. Trump, top CEOs, big money, they're all in the room. This isn't just another meeting. This is the signal, regulatory clarity, mass adoption, or just insiders front running again. Either way, the game is changing. Again, this is happening on Friday, March 7th.
I would pay close attention to American-made cryptos, because if they're having a conversation, there's going to be different crypto projects brought up. If Donald Trump was going to come out and say that, hey, strategic reserve, ADA, XRP, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, if he's going to list all of those in a social media post, we know that he's going to discuss this at the summit, right? And so, first of all, this is pretty goddamn big, right? I mean, this is big news. You got the Trump sitting down and discussing crypto at the White House with major players in government. And so, what is going to come out of this? I don't think this is getting as big a headlines as people should take it, right? I know that. I
mean, it's getting a big headline on our show, as the title is Bitcoin and crypto's biggest week is here.
There you go. Well, I'm just saying that, like, let's pay attention. Friday is going to be a massive, massive day. What time is this thing going? Do we have an announcement on time yet? I'm going to be watching this. We'll definitely be covering it. I'm assuming it's going to be during our waking hours, because it's coming out of Washington, D.C. But I would say, if you have a favorite project that's undervalued currently, and it's a made in America based crypto that's in the top, say, 40 on the market cap list, you best believe that is something that Donald Trump may mention. And we know what happened. He mentioned Cardano. He mentioned XRP. We saw those explode. We saw Cardano move 62% over the course of an hour. Now, let that sink in. Cardano is in the top 10 as far as market cap list. So we're talking about a major altcoin, a giant market cap. This thing moved 60% in an hour. So think about what would happen if he mentions some other U.S.-based cryptocurrencies during this meeting. And so
I can't find what time.
Can't find it what time.
No.
What are the list of? I know you've pulled it up before. American-made crypto layer ones. What are the ones that kind of stand out here for you?
Okay, so you have the top three, right? XRP, Solana.
Those have all been mentioned. So perhaps, Hedera was not mentioned. We've seen big moves out of Hedera lately. This is something that we've seen a large run in Hedera. Also, Chainlink, Stellar, Avalanche. I think those four right there, if you don't have a position on those going in to Friday, you're doing yourself an injustice. Because here's the thing. You can put a position in on those, and I don't think any of those would crash on Friday. I mean, I don't know what's going to be said there. Maybe we get some very pro-Bitcoin kind of assumptions. Maybe he reels back on altcoins having a position on strategic reserve. Maybe he'll say, we're going to go 80% Bitcoin and 20% we'll evaluate over time, but we want to have X, Y, and Z in there. I don't know what he'll do. So anything's possible. But I would say that, like, if you find an opportunity to get Chainlink, Hedera, Stellar, or Avalanche at good value, I think Avalanche is the steal there. And, I'm a big Avalanche bull here. But I think Avalanche at its current price, with the potential for being part of the discussion in the room, and Stellar as well. Now, we saw what happened with XRP. XRP exploded on the news. And as Stellar, which was on the outside looking in, it did see a little rally yesterday, but it wasn't anything significant. It went from 30 cents up to 35 cents. And a lot of this came off of the fact that Stellar was not mentioned in Donald Trump's post, but the likelihood of Stellar being mentioned, because this is one of the leaders in RWAs. It's an American, American crypto company. And so I would expect Stellar to be mentioned. That's just my opinion. I also expect some others to be mentioned, but I think that those four would be a steal. I mean, what do you think about them mentioning Chainlink? I mean, they have a Swift integration.
I'll tell you what.
Hedera.
I'll tell you what. You got to assume that they're going to talk about legislation, the future, how they potentially see crypto, intertwine in the economy and in certain sectors and institutions. And so I can't believe for 1 second that when they talk about that, and if they do discuss actual projects, that they're not going to be the made in the USA crypto projects. We've already seen that with previous announcements. We're seeing that's the trend they're going in. And so, again, I think...
Do you remember Donald Trump's press conference on AI? He brought in 3 major builders for AI, right? I forget who they were. There was the guy, Sam Altman was there. You had 2 other heads of major AI companies, and they were sitting there part of the press conference. So you think that, did we have a list of who's attending yet?
No.
Well, the reason I ask is I didn't see one. And so what I'm thinking is perhaps maybe you get some big players sitting down there. Maybe we get some CEOs of blockchain companies to sit down. And I know the first thing that pops in your head, like, oh, is Charles Hoskinson going to be there? No, I think CEOs of blockchain company. Maybe you see Brian Armstrong. Maybe you see the Winklevoss twins. Maybe you see, Jesse from Kraken. There's a lot of different people that you would like to invite if you wanted to get the crypto's perspective from the leaders that are building in crypto. But also wouldn't be surprised if you did see some of those big headline names for some of the major crypto companies like Brad Garlinghouse or Charles Hoskinson, as mentioned. And I'm just very excited to see what comes out of this. I know we had a dud the last time that the cryptocurrency press conference. What was that? What was the name of that one that went live with? We covered it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, with the ag committee and.
Yeah, that one was kind of lackluster. They basically said, "Look, we're building, we're working on strategic reserve, we're moving fast. Things are coming." It's basically what we got out of the last press conference, but there was no details and no roadmap as far as like who's going to be building, what are they buying, what are some dates. We didn't get any of that, but I do think that this time around it seems like a little bit different because Donald Trump seems to be a little bit more, he's not gun shy. He likes throwing out big names out there. He likes to say partnerships. He likes
huge.
This dude literally was in front of speaking in front of a conference with, thousands of people, and then was like, you know what, Kid Rock also weighed in on this, and he was talking about, this. And also, I had Dana White. He's a really amazing guy. Do you think that Donald Trump won't sit down in a crypto conference and be like, you know what, I talked to Brad Garlinghouse. Man, that guy was such a good guy. Like, he is building, you know what I mean? Like, Donald Trump will do some stuff like that. And if he does that,
he's too shy, man.
And if he does that, then whatever the hell he's mentioning is going to explode. So I would encourage you, if it's built in America, if Donald Trump is even known to have communication that with certain individuals, we know he's met with like Brad Garlinghouse and a bunch of other people. I would say that, like, man, things are about to get real juicy in crypto come Friday. So make sure you do not miss that one. So.
All right. As I work my computer here, let's talk about this. So there's a lot of talk about why XRP and Cardano should not. Everyone's taken aback. And so this coming from the Winklevoss twins, okay? Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss. Now, Tyler said, I have nothing against XRP, Solana, or ADA, but I do not think they are suitable for a strategic reserve. Only one digital asset in the world right now meets the bar, and that digital asset is Bitcoin. He pointed out that an asset in a government reserve needs to be hard money, a proven store of value, and that many crypto projects simply do not meet that standard. His brother echoed what his older brother or other brother said. He said he found it bizarre that some of these coins were even considered. Again, a lot of conversation and opinions on who should be involved, who should not be involved. I always try to understand the other side, and I get it, right? I get the whole Bitcoin only thing.
For the Winklevoss twins. Did you see? I replied to them. I was like, you know what? I got something to say to this. And so for me, I'm like, hey, like it or not, change is coming in more ways than one. Digital gold is not the only narrative of the future. You, of all people, should realize this. And the USA should lead by example and not wait for the next revolution to be started elsewhere. Take risk. It's what the U.S. was built on. This was to Tyler Winklevoss. You know what? The U.S. has been the leader in technology. We've been the leader. We spearheaded, the internet. We spearheaded finance and the stock market and investing and the gold reserve. Like, we took charge. We took leadership of this. We took risk. And so the fact that we know that blockchain's not going anywhere. You can make an argument on, which crypto project is going to be around long term. Sure, they're not all going to be around forever. I get that. And taking an investment on one outside of Bitcoin is a risk. I'm not saying it's not. And, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the cryptos in the strategic reserve is more or less irrelevant in 20 years. It's just the reality of it. But to simply dismiss it as not being able to invest because of some downside pressure later on, God forbid, it's not the way to go about it. Let's foster innovation, foster the future, and get an investment on it now. Otherwise, other countries will. Because I can tell you what, if you invest in XRP, you invest in Cardano, you invest in Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin, maybe you miss out on one, but you're going to make so much money in progress in the next tech revolution and finance revolution that not having a position on those 5 is idiotic. And so take some risk, man. And these people started crypto companies. You have an exchange that sells the same ones you're harping on. Like, what do you mean? You of all people should realize that, hey, I have an exchange. I sell Bitcoin. I sell Ethereum. I sell Solana. Why on earth are you going out here and saying that's a bad idea? You literally offer the product.
Okay, let me ask you a question. I'm going to try to play devil's advocate here, okay? Why does a country create a strategic reserve? Like, why does every country have a gold reserve?
It's because you want to have an investment in the world, right? You want to have an investment on what matters. Okay. What matters? Oil matters. It's the lifeblood of the economy, right? It moves products, from one destination to the other. It fuels cars. It fuels the industry. Gold matters because it's a scarce element and people use it in technology and people save it and it's also a store of value. The same thing for platinum. Then you also have commodities outside of that. You have commodities that are agricultural products. Either way, you buy and hold these as because they matter, and you need to get a position on things that matter. If things don't matter, then you don't need it, right? Ain't nobody out here buying gravel and putting it in a strategic reserve. You don't need it. It's abundant. Nobody cares about it. But things that are hard to get, people want. So you buy things that are hard to get that people want. It's just the fact of why would you buy a collectible? Why do you buy a 69 Shelby Mustang? Why do you buy a Michael Jordan rookie card? Because those are scarce, desirable, and you know that they retain value. And if things go wrong in life, you have something to fall back on that you could sell. It could be a Rolex. It could be, whatever it is. There's things that you just purchase because it's a smart idea. That's it. And it's a smart idea to buy some crypto.
I can try to understand the other side of it. The way I look at it is, why do they have a gold reserve, right? They have a gold reserve to protect them against currency devaluation. They have a strategic petroleum reserve to protect them against potential issues with oil production in the future, because it's, as Rob mentioned, the lifeline of literally everything. They have a strategic grain reserve because it's food and people need it. The way they're looking at digital assets and blockchain, they look at it as we have to have exposure to this because they believe the impact it's going to have in the future. So you're protecting yourself, the US government, against future issues in technology. And if you believe that blockchain technology and projects like XRP and remittances, Cardano and what they do on their blockchain, and other projects like Solana and the value the technology has, then it makes sense to add them in your strategic reserve because it's essentially a hedge against future technological enhancements. And so
you invest in infrastructure. As a company, as a country, you always invest in infrastructure. Why do you build highways? To get people around. It sucks. You know what? Roads under construction, you mess things up in the short term. But it's needed. Same thing for finance. Same thing for putting in fiber optic cables around the country and mandating it and saying, hey, we need high-speed internet across the country. Why is the government making states, why are they requiring them to offer high-speed internet to everybody? Because without it, you fall behind as a country. Without the emerging financial technology, you're going to fall behind without it. It's very simple, man. It's not even complicated, right? Why are we investing in AI? Because we know it's the future. Why are we investing in gold? Because we know we know its purpose. We know its future. It's going to keep increasing in value. So nobody argues that. It's the same thing. Nobody argues. I don't want to say nobody, but it's hard to argue that blockchain is going to be irrelevant.
So I was curious. I was researching. I was like, what are some stockpiles and reserves that the U.S. currently has? Obviously, we all know the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Did you know they have a reserve of helium? They have a helium reserve because it was used in military blimps. They have a lithium reserve. They have a stockpile of various metals, food. And so you can have a reserve of anything that you feel like is going to be beneficial and necessary for your country to remain, whether it's solvent, advanced, ahead of the game. And so they look at those projects as key kind of cogs in the wheel of technology moving forward. And so I get the other side, but I think if you expand your view a little bit and stop just thinking of, well, it's just like gold, it's to protect the US dollar and the currency. It's more than that. It's to protect America's future when it comes to technology and the rapidly changing environment we're seeing moving forward. And if you're watching this show and you've been in crypto, you understand blockchain technology and what it could potentially do. We might not be there 100% yet, but we are damn close. And so it is what it is. You also had this as well, a live look-in on, this is a Cardano summit. All the people that were upset about Cardano being included in the strategic reserve. Only 150 ADA to join this.
This one are
Rob,
Bitcoin Max.
Yeah, I could have swore I saw you there, Summer Rob, but maybe I was seeing things. I don't know. And then, of course, you had speculation. You had speculation because of this right here, right? And other valuable cryptocurrencies, to which CZ kind of reposted. Attention of all bag holders is on this one word. No need to overanalyze. More valuable crypto are likely to be added over time. More countries will follow. Do you agree with CZ? You think whatever they decide to roll out in the first edition of this strategic reserve, do you think they're just going to continue buying those, or more will be added down the line?
Oh, 100%, dude. And we've talked about it before.
What?
That other countries are going to follow suit.
No. Other cryptocurrencies will be added to the strategic reserve.
Oh, yeah.
So is it going to be, all right, we picked these 5, we're just going to keep accumulating these 5, or all right, these are the 5 we're going to start with, and we're going to analyze and bring more in as the market matures?
They're going to start with, and I don't even think they're going to start with 5. I think they'll probably start with 15.
Okay, whatever number they start with, right? Well, 15.
I think they'll start with a certain amount, more than what was announced yesterday, and then from there, I think they will add more later on. But I think it'll probably be 6 months down the road. I think that they're going to set a larger amount than we think. Honestly, I think all the major American-made cryptos will be in it. I just don't know when they're going to announce it. Maybe it's this Friday. Maybe it's at the stroke of midnight when they decide to announce it, officially. But I think Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, AVAX, Chainlink, Stellar, XLM, or Stellar, XRP,
What about
Cardano. Only the big boys are going to be in there. Things will come later. But, you go down the list, and so, Hedera as well. And then, honestly, I think you throw Litecoin in there and Shiba Inu. I mean, not Shiba Inu. Doge. I think you throw Litecoin and Doge in there.
I don't think they throw Doge in there.
And
I think they will.
I think they will, honestly. I think they'll throw Bitcoin Cash in there. Now, whether they're not crypto degens, they're just going to be people like, what has been around for a while? What has a market cap? What are people like? What is quote unquote decentralized? I mean, what were the main projects that were, available for purchase back in 2021 when only a handful of assets were available on exchanges? Litecoin, Doge was in every market. And so I think that those will sneak their way in too. And so I think we have probably 15 different, because I mean, why stop at Solana, XRP, Cardano? From the sounds of it, from what I'm hearing, the vibe I get, why would they stop there? And if you agree they're going to add more later, right? Don't you agree? You agree with CZ they're going to add more later?
Yeah.
Then if they're going to add more later, then I'm pretty sure they're already going to just add more now and then keep that and then add more later on down the road. That's the way I look at it.
I even think it's going to be more than that. I even think it's going to be 25.
I mean,
even more.
Possibly, yeah.
Even they're going to do an index, like a first index 50 and then 100, like Russell 100. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think I know it's going to be more than 5. That's my vibe. And I mean, I guess I get nothing set in stone. And you know what? Even if we do get just the ones mentioned by Trump, even if that does happen, that's still a massive victory. And I do think that later on you're going to get other ones as well. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunch of cryptos in there. I mean, could the list grow to 20? Perhaps. I mean, I don't know. I did want to get a little love to the chat. If you are new here, say hello or say anything in the chat. We'll try to spot you out and give you a little love. We got Big Mouth Rob, which that was myself. Also, you got Abdul Sam, The Art of Reed, Wee Bomb, Khalid, G.I. Joe, Pomp, LOL, Bell Oriz, Rosa, Ocean View, Crypto Tech, Stan, Mikey V, John Dewson, also Put on Mascara, Will Carter, And to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, Tom Keaton gave a $5 super chat. He says, "Sup, guys? Hit 2 on yesterday, a $100 giveaway in 24 hours, and left not going to 100K. So, thanks for that. Also,
Congratulations.
congrats to you.
Hey, a little applause. That's it.
Yeah. More time. Also, Crypto Saiyan says, yo, I feel like you've been in here before. And Alberto as well. He said, what up? What do you guys think of Scale Network?
I heard it's really scalable. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. I want to give a big thank you. Today's show is brought to you by Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how Cam's can help your business scale and grow and really hone in on your cybersecurity and networking, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Also, shout out to Noe St. Clair. We sent your $100. Don't spend it all in one place, my friend. Perfect timing. We gave you $100. Prices dipped. You buy the dip. You turn that 100 into $150. You put in the right altcoin. Also, speaking of congratulations, is our week 2 winner of our trading competition. Congrats to user number this one. You check your spot wallet on Buy DeFi, and you should have $300 in USDT in there. No strings attached. It's not paid as a bonus. It is literally dollars. USDT. You can literally pull it out, use it to multiply it by 10, 100 if you're a good trader. So shout out. If you're not joined in our trading competition, we'll be giving away another $300 a week from today, and it all ends in 2 weeks, where we'll take the highest ROI for the 4 weeks, and we'll take the highest trading volume, and we'll do top 3 on the 4-week cumulative. But we have 2 more weekly giveaways, and then the big one at the very end. It is not too late, and with the markets acting the way they have been, it's not going to take a lot to really get into that top 3 of ROI. I think the number one last week was like a 1.2 or a 1.5% on the leaderboard. The only barrier is 100K in trading volume, which is literally 10 trades at a 10x leverage. So big shout out to Buy DeFi for sponsoring this trading competition. Again, if you want to join, all you got to do is use the link in the description of the video, and you'll automatically be entered into the trading competition. With that being said, I'm going to send it over to Robbo, not Rocco, Robbo, for the markets. Rob, where are we at, my friend?
All right. So we got, took a look at what's down today.
What's down today?
You know,
Are you down today?
No.
Are you down to buy more crypto today?
So Bitcoin has had a pullback. Obviously, we did see it briefly under 87,000, so we'll keep a close eye on that.
86.5 is a level, guys. I am keen to long Bitcoin at 86.5.
No.
Yes, that's a very, very important. Between 86 and 86.5, we need to hold that level. I think we will hold that level. If you look at the chart and how it played out, just in the shorter, where did it go? Just on like the shorter time frame. How that 86K, 86 to 85, that is where we broke out of our inverse head and shoulders. And then we came back, and that's kind of where we're retesting it. We also, before the breakout, we were consolidating in this area. We had one final pullback to 85, and then it was a moonshot. And so I fully expect 86 to 86.5K to hold as support. If it does, the bounce is going to be big. It's going to be a big bounce to the upside. And I believe that is going to happen. You're already starting to see some indecision in the traders as prices hovering around that 87K level. Go ahead.
All right. So back at the...
I'm actually going to put in I'm putting in a limit order.
Go ahead, bro. So back at the ones that have pulled back the most, where is the value at right now? So going down the biggest losers on the 24 hours, you do have Movement, Sonic, Radium, Athena, Celestia, Virtuals, also Barachain, Bonk, Cardano pulled back 16%, still up 20% on the week. And then also IOTA. Is there anything here, David, that really stands out on the top 10 losers today?
Bro, I just said I'm trying to put a trade in, man. Leave me alone, dude. Just kidding. Definitely not scroll up. Definitely not touching radium with a bat. Sonic. Yes. Yes. Sonic. I actually have some Sonic news I'll share with you in a little bit, but they just integrated with the top DeFi protocol in the space. I think Sonic, I mean, we talked about Sonic just having an absolutely massive rally. And, let's see if I can pull up the Sonic chart here.
Yeah, on the 1 week, it's not looking good, but you zoom out to the 1 month. I mean, we saw Sonic go from 40 cents up to about $1 or just shy of that. And so back down to 60 cents. Could this be a good entry position? No.
Okay, so Sonic, to answer your question, yes, it is a good entry position. So these are the key value areas we identified for Sonic. This is between 47.5 or around 48 cents to 60 cents, right? 59.5 cents. And so we're at that, and I'm sure if I draw the fib over here, from this move of 39 cents to our high of 99 cents, we are currently at our golden ratio, which is 618. And that is also coinciding with the top end of our little discount zone here, our rectangular discount zone. So key levels you saw last time, we had a nasty wick down here at around 52 cents, right in this key area. Price rebounded fairly quickly. And so I'm super bullish on Sonic. If you're going to enter, this also might be a good, nice trade setup for a long here on Sonic. And so we were beginning to break out of this. This is on the daily, by the way. This cup and handle pattern, and it looks like that 618 level. Now, if we do get below and we close below that 618 golden ratio, then this pattern is invalidated and we look for potentially a little more downside. But I expect price to bounce here. Nothing fundamentally has changed with Sonic. Its TVL has absolutely exploded. Hitting $1 billion in a matter of, I think it was 62 days. The closest was outside of Sonic was, I think, 500 days to hit $1 billion. So Sonic is moving. The price is giving you a great entry here at 60 cents. Can I go back to my trade now?
Go ahead, bro. All right. So taking a look at what is up today. Well, the only thing up is nothing. At least not on the 24 hours. But if you take a look at what's up on the week, see what has rallied. We have Cardano in here, still up 20%. I just encourage you to take these opportunities to get it in on a value entry point. And so, Hedera, is at 22 cents. I think Hedera might be the steal of the century right now. I mean, you did have a big rally. If you go back on the 1 year, you can sit here and say, hey, I missed out. But you know what? I think that the direction that Hedera is going, the potential for them to be in the strategic crypto reserve, the partnerships they have, I think that they are a likely integration with the United States government and the future of blockchain and how the U.S. is going to implement blockchain technology little by little into the U.S. government. Now, maybe they start with, moving money around internationally. Maybe it's more of an RWA play. But with Donald Trump and World Liberty Finance and all of the people he's putting in place in crypto, blockchain is going to serve it's going to serve the U.S. in some form or fashion. We just don't know quite just yet how it's going to be. Store value, hedge against some inflation, technology. Bitcoin makes a lot of sense. But outside of Bitcoin, there's a reason that Donald Trump has created the reserve or is creating the reserve and is going to put in a lot of other altcoins in there because he plans on investing in crypto, not only with US dollars and a strategic reserve, but he's going to be investing in crypto for their infrastructure and for the technology. So I think that Hedera makes so much sense in that regard. And so I could see Hedera breaking within the top 10, which it's at the number 11 right now, so it's not far away. But I do think that it'll flip Tron. I think it'll flip Doge. I think it'll be up there with Cardano, Solana, and perhaps XRP to get up to Cardano's level, which Cardano's currently at a $30 billion market cap. You're talking about 3x. And so from here, I could see Hedera getting up to about 75 cents quite easily, in my opinion. And if you look at its all-time high, it was only 50 cents. And so we're not far away from previous all-time highs, and it's just a company that is growing, and something that we've been focusing on for the last like 3 years. We've had Mance Harmon on the show before. We've done endless amount of videos on Hedera, and so we're pretty bullish on it, and I think it's a great time for entry right now at this current moment.
I mentioned back to Sonic. This piece of news here. AAVE launches lending markets on Sonic blockchain with $15 million backing in first layer 1 expansion. This piece of news hit. This is from the defiant.co. So I guess, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is more bullish for AAVE or for Sonic? Who benefits more?
I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know too much about Sonic. I know you're a little bit more well versed with Sonic. I do think that AAVE is kind of like the no-brainer pick, right? It's AAVE, DeFi. You wanna have DeFi and lending. I think you got to have AAVE, right? I mean, the same way, like if you're gonna need Oracle services and you're going to outsource that to another Oracle, ICP is kind of the one exception, but outside of that, if you're a smart contract blockchain and you need Oracle services, you're going to go to Chainlink, right? And so I think kind of the same ideology for AAVE. So I think this more or less cements AAVE as kind of the front runner or the no-brainer for a DeFi lending protocol. And yeah, it makes sense. Donald Trump is using it with World Liberty Finance. So yeah, I think it's just more of an indication of where AAVE's at. So I don't know what to take away. I don't know who's the bigger gainer out of the two, but yeah.
I think it's AAVE. AAVE having the integration with Sonic, the fastest growing layer 1, when you look at TVL. And the way their tokenomics are tied into their stable coin, it's a massive W for AAVE. And Sonic again. I mean, I've been saying this for like 3 weeks now. Sonic is one to put on your radar, man. It's a sneaky one. No one likes to talk about it. It just starts moving up in price. It has big gains. And then by the time people realize, like, holy crap, Sonic's been up 180% in the last 10 days, it would be a good time. Also, I did enter a long position, a limit order on BTC at 86,522 to enter into a limit long. I think I did a 10 or a 12x on that. We also had this gap formed here, Bitcoin's future $10,000 CME gap. And here you go. Are we going to fill this gap? No. This gap lays between $84,900 and $87,200. And so with Bitcoin's price currently, where is Bitcoin's price currently? I'm going to scroll up. Everyone's saying that price is going down. Let's take a peek. I know it bounced down. So 86.4. So it looks like my limit order was filled. And so where am I looking for stop loss? So my liquidation price was 78.2. But I am looking at if we break below 83.2, then that's where my stop loss is. My TP is going to be the upper end of this here. Well, not there. No, we're going to zoom out to the hourly on this one. My take profit's going to be, I'd like it to be 92.1. I just don't know if there's any momentum. So my TP will be somewhere between $89,000 and $90,000. So we'll see what happens. Will this be a good trade? Will it be a bad trade? I think it's going to be a great trade. Time will tell. Again, this key level here. If we lose this level, though, we're probably going to get lower around between 84.1 and around 83.5. And so we should get a bounce there. If not, you're looking at $82,000 to $80,000. If we make a trip down there, be another great opportunity to buy Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah, currently Bitcoin $86,172. So it looks like we keep a close eye on this one. Yeah, I just find it hard to believe that we went from 93 down to 86, and I just don't think the drawdown is that much further. I really don't. I think you're kind of spot on this being kind of that local bottom. Now, this thing that the bullish sentiment right now, you could throw tariffs into the mix if you like, but I do think that here we had massive support, and I know you kind of pulled it up on your chart there, but we've just really spent a long time around 86,000, and we see that we were around 86,000 before and after this dip here. But I don't know. I'm very curious to see what this week will shape up. I want to know what you think in the chat. What do you think the price of Bitcoin is going to look like by the end of the week? Do you think that by Friday, do you think that we are higher in Bitcoin price than we are today? So put a 1 in the chat if you think we're over, say, 87,000 on by Friday. Put a 2 in the chat if you think that we're below 87,000 by Friday. I want to know where you guys think the market is going, where it's going to shape up this week. I personally think that Bitcoin is going to get back above 90K by the end of the week. And I know I said that last week as well. I know that I was like, hey, by Friday we'll be over 90,000. Well, we were over 90,000 by Sunday. But, you know, and I think that's just because I realize where we're at in the market. And I think that, you know what, we are in a bull market. We're post-halving, and there's a lot of bullish narrative coming out. And volatility is a natural feature of Bitcoin. And so not surprised that we got a pullback, but I do think that the overall trend is up and to the right, particularly this week as well. Also, we got a lot of ones dropping in here. We got Zan, Will, Julio, Put On Mascara, Eugene, Poe Man, Jason, all put in ones. French Toaster and Paul Wood said 2. So yeah, thanks for participating there. What do you think, David? We over or under 87,000 by Friday?
Over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over. Unless something fundamentally changes, then I'll change my kind of thesis. But yeah, I think it's going to be over. It's just, you know, I actually expected Wall Street to come in and buy off the news yesterday. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes you can't explain the move. It is what it is. I think part of it's tariffs. I think
it's more the macro factor. I mean, you look at,
NASDAQ's down like, I think, what, 1.5%?
No, more. It's almost 2%. So NASDAQ currently down 1.83% on the day. So not looking good. You know, you look here, this is what the 1-day chart looks like. We opened up at 18,956, currently at 18,5 flat. So the NASDAQ is most directly correlated to Bitcoin's movement out of the indices. And so, yeah, not a good day in the overall markets. And I think that's why we're seeing the spill off. I don't think that it's cryptocurrency freaking out. I think it's just that the U.S. government and the U.S. economy is taking a little pullback right now. And I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah. All right. I did tease in the beginning. There's a country that is talking about getting a strategic reserve. China, rumored to be actively working on a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This is what David Bailey, the CEO of Bitcoin Magazine and Bitcoin Inc. said. China is now working double time to stand up their own strategic Bitcoin reserve. Now, he did note that Beijing has been conducting a series of closed-door meetings since the most recent election cycle. While Chinese authorities have not officially confirmed this, Bailey said he received information from Bitcoiners in Beijing doing the same kind of work Bitcoiners in DC are doing, that this is actually happening. I mean, makes sense, right? We talked about the Bitcoin arms race, the Bitcoin coins race.
If we get the strategic reserve in the U.S. and then we got a headline that China's doing the same and they're both buying at the same time, $500,000 Bitcoin. And I don't say that as like some like clickbait. Like I honestly just from supply and demand, how much Bitcoin is in the OTC books? I mean, yeah, do we have a website that they quickly source that? And so the OTC books are shallow. I know the last time we've looked at it, I think it was probably like 3 weeks ago or so. There wasn't much there. We know that MicroStrategy or Micro, whatever one we're going to call them.
Strategy.
So
it's not Micro anymore, Robin.
You know, they're routinely buying. We have, was it a Middle Eastern nation? What was it? Abu Dhabi, or who was it that was buying Bitcoin for their sovereign wealth fund? It was one of
Qatar.
And so, you know, there's already lots of buyers scooping up what's you know, on over the counter. So anyways, that's going to pour over to the order books at some point in time. When that happens, you're going to get a massive price shock. And then not to mention, you just got, you know, retail is buying and setting aside Bitcoin. And so that is also a factor on the order books as well. So traders can only play with the price for so long before Bitcoin just starts leaving. And well, there you go.
Bitcoin says, "Screw you, babe." I was trying to find it. I think it was on Crypto Quant. Yeah, but I'll share it on.
Look at it tomorrow. Yeah,
no, I'll share it on my PM stream today.
Okay.
I'll be going live today at 4:45 p.m. Pacific, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're only going to break down charts and fundamental analysis on cryptocurrencies. What will Bitcoin be? Will it be over 86.5? Will it be under 86.5? What kind of opportunities will be presented to us during the show? I'm excited to do that one. Also, we have an XLM video coming out in about 30 minutes, so make sure to watch that. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel and have your notification bell pinged on. Bell? I don't know. That's all I got. Anything else?
that's it, baby.
That's it. Rocco! Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's a rocky start to the week, but still going to be an amazing week. Make sure to stay tuned. Come back here tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, guys.
Sin City, crypto, everybody know we here for entertainment and info, gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in, for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David, I split the game, but they gave it. Named according to your favorite, I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners, special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners, ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors, they gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin, and sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya, to the moon, then to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya. City.